So that's one thing that he's definitely going to have to clean up when it comes to that.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at next week's MEAC lineup, Coach. This is a very interesting week, Coach. Very interesting week in this regard. These other two games, the first two games, Norfolk and Morgan State, they playing for pride. Norfolk and Howard, they playing for pride. North Carolina Central and Morgan, they playing for pride, Coach. Some would say Morgan may be playing for the employment of their coach. But we have what is considered a de facto championship. We'll go ahead and pick these two games right quick. This is easy. I'm going to take Norfolk and I'm going to take North Carolina Central, Coach.
You got Norfolk against Howard.
Yeah.
I don't see Howard giving up. I'm going to take Howard. North Carolina Central, I'll go with Central. Of course, Morgan State can't score. I'm going to go with North Carolina Central.
What about you, Campbell?
Listen, I'll tell you what. This is one of those things that when you look at Norfolk and Howard, how many people are going to show up? If I'm Michael Vick, I'm telling my team, we don't want to just go on this bad losing streak like we had. Let's close this thing out. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Norfolk pulls out a close one. Now, Morgan State and Central, I think one thing, and I heard the coach's call, you could hear the disappointment in Trey Oliver's voice, but he did talk about the senior class and all the games that they won. I think the senior class goes out on top. I think they really put up a 40-piece up on Morgan, and then, they go off and Trey Oliver gets ready for next year.
All right, guys, this is the de facto MEAC championship game between Chennisberry and South Carolina State. The upstart, Deshaun Jackson and Delaware State. Delaware State has a dominant running game. South Carolina is very balanced. However, South Carolina State has a lot of new players on the team, right? They had to rebuild. Delaware State has proven that they can play with anybody. If you have to give an edge, I give the coaching edge to Chennisberry. I give the quarterback edge to Chennisberry. I really want to pick Delaware State in this situation, but I got to go with South Carolina State. They have the quarterback. They have a coach. I just believe that Chennisberry is hard to beat in this situation, even though Delaware State is at home.
I guess I go, Coach. Look like he's looking at something. Hey, listen. Here's the thing, and I put Coach Quinn on the spot because I think it's very important to talk about one thing. The coaches that are successful know what it looks like. They played it, they smelled it, they understand it. Chennisberry has. He's been on championship staffs. He's a championship conference winning coach. Sean Jackson, who I think has done a masterful job putting together staff, getting players to believe. But this is where I think the coaching is going to separate. And I'm talking about in games like this, not to say that the coaching staff of Delaware State would not have his team prepared, but just like Chennisberry showed last week, when you play in these big games, you got to have that little bit of edge. You got to be able to make one more play than somebody else. I think Chennisberry has shown that through his career, that he's able to do that. And I think clearly they're not going to be intimidated. And unfortunately, Delaware State does not have a great home field advantage where it's going to be people just going nuts and going crazy. So they're going to be able to get their calls off, not going to be worried. South Carolina State probably going to come up there, have a good bit. I know I heard the band's coming up there. So, again, the atmosphere will be right for South Carolina State. And I think this is just where Chennisberry says, listen, we want to get back to the Celebration Bowl. You saw what happened to us last year. Let's see if we can right that wrong. And I got South Carolina State.
Coaching wise, of course, Chennisberry been around a lot longer. Quarterback wise, I think, it's important, who you got snapping. But it's two things about Delaware State. They not a great passing team, and they make a lot of mistakes on penalties. Whenever you get two Titans clashing heads, that's what put one over the other. it's penalties, it's possession, it's field position. And when you get them penalties, that means now I'm starting back, in the sticks. I'm starting back behind the sticks, and you don't want to be that way. Hopefully, Delaware State can clean that up penalty wise, but you've seen it in the past. I think South Carolina State defensively will lock up on their receivers. I think they'll focus more on stopping the run, making Delaware State throw the ball. But sometimes, you got to come up and throw the ball against a stack front on defense, just to push them off of you. Hopefully, their offense coordinator been doing that. But when you see how many times they run that football, you just got to watch that. But South Carolina State, I got South Carolina State over Delaware State at least by 10 points. 2 possessions.
Wow, Coach, I don't agree there. I think it's going to be a close one.
Well, that's okay. You've been wrong before.
All right. Hey, and you lost to Tuskegee, so you've been wrong before.
Boy, look, don't bring that game up because I actually cried, boy. Look, hey, don't bring that game up, Coach. Them fight words, man. I knew when we lost that game, we had lost the national championship.
Wow. Hey, Coach, I would have wondered if I could beat Jackson State if I lost to Tuskegee, Coach. I wouldn't have been worried about no national championship.
Man, I gotta get Johnnie throwing out, man. Give me a shout, man. I know shit. Johnnie, I know how I feel, man. When you get one up, baby. Hey, snap it up and get ready for next year.
All right. Hey, Johnnie. Hey, I know Walker Harris is going to deliver that national championship here sooner or later. I hope he got another year because it won't be this year.
All right.
All right. Hey, let's go on to the SWAC.
Oh yeah.
This is let's go look at last week. Hold on. Last week in the SWAC. All right. We had a good one here, guys. It kind of went the way all of us thought it would. Though Bethune-Cookman put up a fight. Let's look at the box scores a little bit. This game was dominated, in my opinion, by Jackson State. When you put up 360-yard rushing, I don't know why Jackson State don't have 50 points. Can you tell me, Campbell, why Jackson State don't have 50 points?
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is one of those games that you kind of saw Lockhart play like a freshman a little bit. And one of the things that I think TC Taylor tried to do, and again, I got to give TC Taylor because he's preparing this young man. Now, word on the street is Jacoby Morgan might be back, not for this game, but for the SWAC championship. We'll see what happens. But I think he's trying to also open up the offense so if there's plays that need to be made, that Lockhart can try to make them. But with that being said, he also knows, too, that he got that hammer, those hammers, plural, in the backfield with that offensive line. And when it was time to take that game over, he turned around and just handed that ball off. And those guys, Davenport, Miller, and Travis Terrell went nuts. And once again, the thing that I think that's underrated is that Jackson State offensive line, they go get people, and they are nasty. And one of the things, and unfortunately for Bethune-Cookman, which, again, I always felt that Bethune's problem was, can they be consistent? They had drop passes. They had turnovers when inopportune time. They had a big run to kind of bring the game back at early that maybe would have given them some momentum, but they never could capitalize and never could get ahead. Because one of the things about Jackson, you got to try to get ahead of them and make that freshman play from behind. And if you can't make a play from behind, then that's a wrap. So, again, I think Jackson State does what they do best. They ran the ball. Defense made a big play to open up that spread with a pick six. And like I say, Jackson State's going to roll into the vet against Alcorn. I think very excited, no matter who's going to play quarterback. But, again, I believe it'll be Lockhart this weekend, and I think they're going to evaluate and see if Jacoby Morgan will be back for the SWAC championship.
All right. Coach Cole, did you see anything eye-opening in this? And
I always say as TC Taylor go, Jackson State go. And I was glad to see him run that ball, almost 50 times.
No, he ran it 50, Coach, 52.
Yeah. I like to see that, especially when you got a young Lockhart quarterback. And you also, Bethune-Cookman is who they are. They don't beat teams with winning records. They only beat teams that's below them, which is good. It's kind of different from what they've been doing in the last 2 years. So are they up and coming? I don't know. They've beaten teams that really have been below them. Jackson State is Jackson State. I think Jackson State is better. I think they can run the ball just as good as Alabama State can pass the ball. And that's why I said that Prairie View, in about another week or two, will have the lineup and the opportunity to play. And both of those teams' strong point are the same. It's just which one of them will make mistakes. So Jackson State still got to get past Alcorn. I don't think that's just a gimme. You got an Alcorn team that's won, 5 straight?
Yeah.
You got a Jackson State team that's limping into the game, playing at the end of the year. This a rival. You can throw the
Coach, they ran for almost 400 yards, Coach.
Yeah.
They not limping into the game.
Yeah. Well, they don't have their trigger man. That's
right about that.
what I'm saying. They don't have the man that can make it happen. And when you taking the Alcorn State team that's won 5 in a row, you can throw the records out. It's the Mississippi Bowl or the Soul Bowl, what we used to call it. I don't know if they still call it now, but it was the Soul Bowl. And it's mono on mono, Coach. Alcorn versus Jackson State, both Mississippi schools, man. You can't count it out. Again, it could hurt Jackson State because the week after, they got Prairie View in the championship. So they got to play another big game back to back.
You're right, Coach. And Coach, and this next game.
Down in the valleys. Whoa.
Coach, Tremaine Jackson predicted this.
I want to go.
Where you want to go, Tremaine?
Name of the place ringing in my ear.
Where you trying to go?
Atlanta is the land of the purple and gold. Oh, the land of the purple and gold. Gotta get there.
And it looks like they have a chance to get there, Coach. They'll play for it all in about 2 weeks, Coach. Like I say, I got to admit it's your protege. I don't think there was much to say about this game. It got late real early, Coach. 56-9. They whooped up on Arkansas Pine Bluff. We can look at the box scores if you want to. The quarterbacks, they threw for 300. They ran for almost 300. And looks like they only gave up about 300, Coach. So this was a dominating performance. You expected this. You said there's no way that Coach Jackson was going to lose focus at this point in the game. He wasn't going to allow his team to lose. And even I think they were playing in front of a sparse crowd even. Let me see what the Yeah, I think they were playing in front of a sparse crowd. Oh, 7,000. That's pretty good. 7,000.
Yeah. One thing is that Prairie View's offense is peaking also at the right time. They put up 28 against Alabama State, 56 this week, 38 against, of course, the school that we thought they should have scored north. But they are moving north. Their offense is moving north of the scoreboard, and that's big. They've always been good on the defense side of the ball. I keep telling you guys that Tremaine Jackson is a great coach. His best years are still in front of him. He does a great job of coaching, along with your Chennis Bears and your Trey Olivers. Coach Thomas has changed Alcorn in the right trajectory. Mickey Joseph turned gambling around. I think we got some good coaches in our conference. Of course, there's some room for better, but I can't say enough about Tremaine Jackson and his staff. And they're not only winning, they're winning convincingly as well.
All right, Coach. Anything you want to mention about this, Campbell?
Well, I think the keys is what we got to talk about. We didn't mention, and his father called in last week. Cameron Peters has improved every week. He's now starting playing with some consistency. This is the thing that Tremaine Jackson talked about after that 4 interception debacle against Alabama State that really lost them the game. So, he's sitting back, and I think Cam Peters said, hey, his daddy came on here and said, hey, listen, my son knows what needs to be done. So, again, this is one of those things that, and I said this to the Prairie View people online. With these type of games, you got to handle your business. Because these are the type of games you want to build your confidence. You don't want to play around. Same thing. They got one more game that they got to play against. I believe they play Valley next week. Put that beat down on Valley, and then you see where you stack up when you got to go play Jackson State. But the biggest thing is to get their quarterback consistent, and Cam Peters has done that for the last couple of weeks.
See, the thing about Prairie View, too, next week when they play Valley, they can't rest. No matter whether they win or lose, they won the East Championship.
That's true.
So, it's a game that they can rest, rest some kids that's a little gimped up and get them all ready and start preparing for Jackson State already. They can prepare 2 weeks out. So the ball is in their court, man, and I know Coach Jackson and staff, they're going to think those things too. And, rest some guys up. They might jump up on Valley 14-0 and just start resting the rest of the team. And that's a good thing.
Let me ask you, Coach. I got another question, Coach. And maybe I'm jumping ahead. But if you're Prairie View, if I'm Coach Jackson, I want Jackson State to beat Alcorn because I want no part of Andrew Body and Alabama State right now. That's just me.
That is just you. That is totally just you, because I'm going to tell you, both of them poisons will kill you. So if you sit up there and think that Tiger offense can't score the same amount of points that Alabama State, now Alabama State may be quick strike, but points are points. So you can sit back and say, because to me, I'm going to be honest with you, and if you looked at it, when they played Alabama State, if Prairie View don't throw 4 interceptions, they win that game maybe. So this team you're talking about, defense is not like that. Jackson State's defense is like that. So if I'm a coach, I want to play the team that's got the worst defense. That's just me. Because I've shown, even with 4 interceptions, that we had Alabama State on the ropes. And if it was for a missed field goal, which I think would have tied the game, my Prairie View people in there, it would have tied or win it. I think it was to tie it. And that was with 4 interceptions. So I tell you what, because I've seen that run attack up close and personal. When people can pound on you and start running on you and 3-4 guys, yeah, that's for a long day in the office.
Hey, Campbell, me and you can debate all day long, but there's only one man on this show that didn't actually call plays. There's only one man on this show that actually has been in this situation before, and I'll defer to him if he could get in the mind of Coach Jackson. What does Coach Jackson? What does Prairie View want?
Man, Coach Jackson, talking with Coach Jackson personally, he wants the shot at Alabama State to show that he can beat Alabama State. I think both of you right. And the only thing that makes both of you not right is it a healthy Andrew Body? And I'll be honest, Coach Campbell, if there's a healthy Andrew Body, I want to play Jackson State. I mean, I just, it's hard. It's hard to stop a team that rolls up points. But you are right, Campbell. Jackson State is a good, solid team. You are right, Rocky. If there's a healthy Andrew Body, how much is that shoulder ready to rock and roll? You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So both, and I'll tell you, Campbell, I get weary of a guy. I mean, I played against Steve McNair. I played against Willie Totten, as you know. I played against Bruce Eugene. And damn it, every game that I've had to, I played against Romo. So every game that I was sitting either at the head coach or the coordinator, I knew going in that game, if I didn't score 30 points or more myself, I wasn't going to win that football game because I knew on the other side, they were going to score as well. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that about Jackson State. I seen them against Jackson, seen them against Grambling. They lost twice in 2 years against Grambling when Jacoby was playing and without. You know what I mean? So when you don't have an exciting quarterback, you know, where they got to hand that ball off, now I can load the box. You know what I mean? I can stop the run long. We can come up and tackle. But when you got that trigger man back there that can slip, that can drop it on the dime, that can make goddamn plays, any defensive coordinator will tell you that they rather play a quarterback that stands on the point than a quarterback that can beat you with his legs.
But Coach, let me ask you a question. The two best teams that Alabama State played, they gave up almost 30 points. They gave up 30 to Jackson State, and they should have gave up 30 to Prairie View.
No, listen up now. Now, how many times have Prairie View got over 30? Twice. 59 and 28, 59 and 38.
And, well, three times.
Everything else been below.
They put 40 on Alabama A&M.
Okay, yeah. 3 times they scored out of 11 games. That ain't saying a lot to say that we're a scoring machine. You know what I mean? And Alabama State, man, ain't nobody stopped them. No, nobody. Nobody stopped them from being in the 30s. So you know, that's where I kind of see it, man. You know, both of you kind of right. If Andrew Body is healthy, you know, I have rather.
Well, see, man, I'm gonna say this and this, and I'm gonna say this, and this is why I give Prairie View people credit for this. You got a shot. All the rest of that talking, that's why, man, I'm in a group, and all they do is talk about FAMU didn't do this, FAMU, and ain't none of them suckers won a SWAC championship because ain't no Jackson State folks in the group. So I'm defending both things. So if you ain't won no championship, Coach, as you know, we don't want to hear that. So my thing is, last I checked, unless Alcorn beats Jackson State, which, again, and this is another thing, too. I'm from Jackson. I've been around an Alcorn Jackson State game. 9 out of 10 times, the team that's the better team wins that game. They ain't won them game like, oh, somebody got upset. Usually 9 out of 10 times, I'm telling you, and if anybody want to make that bet with me, you show me, and I'm talking about 9 out of 10 times, the better team has won that game. Jackson State's the better team. They're going to win that game. They're not going to get upset. That just doesn't happen in that rivalry. Now, Grambling and Jackson State, that's like I tell people, that's different.
You saying the Alcorn State game. Alcorn
and Jackson State. Usually in that game, close or not, the better team usually wins. There's not one. Grambling and Jackson State is more of a toss-up game where no matter the records don't matter in that game. That's why you see a Jackson State can upset or Grambling damn sure will do it. But Alcorn, Jackson State, if Jackson State usually has the better team, I can't remember a time when Jackson State had a better team when Alcorn just came in there, especially when they didn't have a good team. And I don't think Alcorn has a good team. I think they have an average team. I've never seen an average Alcorn team beat a Jackson State team.
You got a point there, Coach. You definitely got. But what makes Jackson State normal, kind of, is they not playing with their trigger man. You know what I mean? That's almost like a clip wing, almost. You know what I'm saying? If a team could just stop the run. Now I got to throw the football to win. If I get down by 2 touchdowns, it's this young kid, the kid that can push us down the football field to win football games. You know, that's the thing why I say when you got a quarterback back there, as opposed to a backup guy, man, you got a shot. You got a shot to win the game.
Now, Coach, I'll tell you this, and that's the thing. This is why, again, because Prairie View is going to be there. They've already won the West. This is the one thing that, to your point, but again, no matter who they play, their defense is ranked what it is. We'll find out. But I will say this. If I'm Tremaine, I would rather have the defense I have that feels like they can stop it, and then try to get Lockhart. Again, if Morgan comes, it's a whole different thing. Even with Morgan coming back, that's still a scary proposition.
Doesn't Prairie View have the #1 defense in the conference?
Yeah, Prairie View.
So. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If that's my point. If that is the thing, if I had to bet my house money, at least I can sit back there and challenge my defense. My only thing is I've seen that Jackson State team up close and personal. And the problem with that philosophy of we're going to stop the run is that they got guys on the outside that can make big plays. And the thing, and I'll tell you this, and I don't want to belabor this, but I literally had the screen up. I was talking to somebody that knows football very well. And we were watching Lockhart and we were watching R.J. Johnson. And the difference with Lockhart as a freshman who got rid of the ball immediately compared to R.J. Johnson, waiting, throw. Waiting, throw. And, Coach, you know that you can't throw when the guy is open. That's too late. You got to throw the guy right before he gets open. You got to throw him open. Those are things I'm already seeing what Lockhart's doing. Now, again, they don't need Lockhart to throw 300 yards. But the thing about it for Prairie View, to your point, they got to turn them over, and they got to get ahead. That's Coach. You hit it right on it. They got to get ahead. That's the only thing. But I'm just telling you.
Number one, Jackson State is just not just going to run over Prairie View. So they got to be able to throw the football some. All right. Prairie View in the same way. They got a nice running game. They got an experienced quarterback that's been playing the whole year. You know, they got two great coaches, two great defensive schemes. Jackson State like to put a lot of pressure on you where Prairie View just like to make sure that they got, 8, 9 men up at the box when you hand the ball off. So Jackson State is coming to the game. And again, don't sleep on Alcorn State because it's a rival. They never know, they might get beat up on. They got to focus and concentrate on winning this football game.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. They have to win that game.
Oh yeah, Prairie View got really 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'll play my starters the first quarter. Of course, once we get up, 20, 21, 24 points, shit, I'm playing everybody else. All we doing is taking mental reps and resting up and getting a whole week of rest. Matter of fact, this week I'll be working on stuff if I'm the coordinator, what I'm gonna do to Jackson State. How we gonna play Jackson State. So, I think Prairie View got the upper hand. If it was Alabama State, I would be thinking different. I just feel that way. I mean, I just got a lot of respect for Andrew Body because he can run the ball as well as throw it, and as well as they got a great running attack, and their defense is so.
All right, hey Campbell, let's look at this game. This Florida A&M, Alabama A&M game. I didn't watch it for Campbell. I know you did. Tell us about it.
Well, here's the thing, and this goes back to and shout out to Wild Wayne, did a great show. But Wayne said something, and no disrespect to the Alabama A&M people, understand me. Wayne said there's a difference between expectations and goals, and more people should have goals and expectations. And that's only for teams that don't win championships, Wayne. Because when you're Florida A&M, Jackson State, Southern has expectation, South Carolina State has the expectation, FAMU has expectation. It ain't no goal. The expectation has always been in the hunt. So this is what was funny about this whole year. I told everybody, we got enough talent to beat the bad teams, and we've shown that. Not by a lot, but that just shows you the expectation. We're going to win 7 games because I'm telling you this, Cozy has that type of luck where we're going to beat Bethune and we're going to beat Valley, and he's going to end up winning 7 games. And for some teams, 7 games is good. He's going to be able to say we went on a 5-game winning streak. For a lot of teams, that's good, but that's not enough for Florida A&M. And to watch this game to where it came down again, where again, I want to understand. Cozy went for it. Right, we scored a touchdown. He went for it for 2 at the very first touchdown. Again, I nobody asked him that in the coach's call, which I don't know why they didn't ask him that. That could have lost us the game because that point actually gave Alabama State the ability to tie the game. They just ran out of time.
A&M.
A&M. I'm sorry, A&M.
Yeah.
So when you sit back and look at it, and again, RJ plays well against the poor teams, but we got more talent than them. We were picked second. So all these people that thought FAMU was only going to lose one game, and y'all in the chat know who you are, you didn't know what you're talking about. And I told you that wasn't going to happen. So just letting you know. So, man, you know, it's going to be interesting how this thing closes out for Cozy. Again, there's a new AD. You know, this game next week is these next two games are very important. I'm not going to give Valley, I'm going to give Valley respect, but I think FAMU is going to finish it out strong, but we still did not play to the level that we could play.
All right. Jackson State's next week opponent. Beat Alcorn. Beat Grambling. Grambling, the team that beat Jackson State. Alcorn took care of business there. Southern lost in a close one to Texas Southern after leading the game most of the game.
Yeah.
KJ Cooper and the Texas Southern Tigers came back and got them. And Alabama State, with a backup quarterback, did what they had to do. Southern has looked like they're on the way to a 1-11 season. Their next game is the IU Classic. Of those three games, there anything that stood out? If not, we'll go ahead and go to our predictions for next week.
I want to talk about. I watched this Texas Southern game, and Southern started off playing well, and Texas Southern looked like they were going to start Texas Southern again. But I got to give them credit. They refocused. They got control of the game. They closed the game out. And again, you hear the rumors, and I do, because Rocky, I know we said we're going to get off, but I want us to hurry up because I do want to talk about this Marshall Faulk thing really quickly. This is where I'm saying I'm really confused about what Southern's going to be if they're talking about bringing Marshall Faulk in.
All right. So let's go to next this upcoming week, because I think this is quite interesting in the SWAC, because they have a lot of games that just don't matter. So I'm gonna take Prairie View in this one. Pine Bluff and Alabama State, I don't even think that's worthy of picking. This is interesting. Sam Shade is playing for respectability here. Is this their last game of the season right here?
Yeah.
I think 4, 5, and 7 looks a lot different than 4 and 8. And I'm gonna take Texas Southern in this one. I think Chris Dishman is gonna have his second 65 season.
Did they? No, they went 5 and 6 last year.
Oh, it was 5 and 6. Okay. Well, this will be his first winning season, Coach.
Right.
If he pulls it out. But any of these games, you guys want to run through and pick these right quick? So
I just had a talk with Sam Shade. Him, his president, his AD on the same page. There's a lot of verbiage going on because they weren't successful this year, but he assured that he's okay, his staff is okay. I would say to the A&M Bulldog family, man, believe me, you guys got a champion, you got a winner. He just got to get his group ready to go and his kind of players in there.
You see anything happening outside of now this game right here, this Bethune-Cookman Florida A&M game, I think this is a big game. I actually do think it's a big game.
It is.
For
both coaches.
I think I'm gonna say this. This is a game where the winner survives and the loser may be put out to pasture. Because this is why people are applauding this Bethune-Cookman season, but I don't think it's a season worth even speaking of. Because who did he beat? He beat Edward Waters. He beat Alabama A&M. He beat Southern, who has one loss, Pine Bluff, Mississippi Valley. Are any of those teams at any point this season were they a good team? I'll ask you, Coach Cole. Were any of the teams that he beat at any point in this season a good team?
No, one would say, well, I could only play the people in front of me, but he hadn't beat nobody big yet. Last year, he lost to Clark on the last second field goal. So he's looking that this is a big game. It's a rival. It's one of the best in Florida. Beating your arch rival can definitely save your job.
Is beating Mississippi Pine Bluff and a 1-11 Southern team enough to save Coach Woody's job, Mr. Campbell?
He moving in the right direction.
See, to me, this is what's interesting about this. If he loses against Family, that's 3 years of losing records. So I think he improved what he got 2 more wins more than he had last year. So where's the improvement when, again, the offense, you did see some life in offense, but again, against the teams that they, again, the Grambling game to me said it all. If they were a real team, they would have beat Grambling. Because you had to beat Grambling to set that Jack State game up to mean something. And when they didn't beat Grambling, I said, they're not what people think they are. And that's the reason why, again, I'm not worried about what people say. Everybody got a right to their opinion. But my biggest thing is, I think Bethune-Cookman losing to Grambling and then losing to Jackson State, they'll get up for FAMU. But again, FAMU has shown, because again, the speed that we have, Bethune-Cookman's defensive backs are not good. They are not good. And I think it's going to be a field day. I think R.J. Johnson's going to have one of those games that when you look up, he's going to have 299 yards and 3 touchdowns, and it's still not going to look great, and we'll beat them by 2 points, and it'll look ugly, but we'll beat them.
All right. And we got the game that's going to affect the championship. Based on what I saw last week, I don't even know why T.C. Taylor even tries to pass the ball. Seems like if he just turns around and hands it off, he'll win this game just like he would have won last game pretty easy. But he insists on tinkering with the passing game. TC, win the daggone game and run the daggone ball, and let's get it on in Jackson on December the 6th. Y'all got the better team by far. Let's not tinker with the passing game, Coach. What do you say, Coach?
I'm like you. I mean, keep it close to your vest. Put the game into your run game. Put the game on your defense in your run game. Let Lockhart throw it as little as he can and win the football game. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give Alcorn nothing to play for like you did Grambling. And there'll be, we'll be looking to see the game that we really want to see, and that's Prairie View and Jackson State.
Absolutely. What about you, Jacksonian?
Listen, I've seen this game. I've been in this game. I saw Alcorn getting, they beat Grambling with what? A kid that came off the bench that was 18 years old that hadn't played and barely beat them. I mean, of course, that's a good win for them by name, but they weren't impressive against Grambling. I don't see anything. Again, I think Bethune-Cookman is equal to Grambling. And again, Jack State handled their business with that. I think Jack State, again, they're setting themselves up to go back to Celebration Bowl and to go back-to-back. They went 2 years before with Dion and lost back-to-back. I think there's some internal pride with those guys, especially with TC and Coach O, to say, hey, listen, this is how we do it Jackson style. I think they're not going to have any problem with Alcorn. I think they understand that they got Prairie View coming in there. I think they're going to stay really focused and everything. And it's Alcorn, Jackson State. The crowd is going to be crazy. I don't know what the weather is. So what's the weather, guys, down at Jackson? Because maybe somebody told me it might be raining. That's not a good thing. But overall, I don't think Jackson State's going to have any problem with Alcorn.
Yeah, wait. And let me say this. And T.C. Taylor is a great coach. Yeah, I mean, he's proven it. He's a championship guy. He's gonna go in the game just like Tremaine Jackson goes in the game, and it's gonna be a game of chess. It's gonna be a game of chess. And he knows his team better than I do. Of course, we talking from the outside. Of course, Tremaine knows his team better than I do as well. I'm speaking more from experience and watching both teams play, and I think where they're good at is just my opinion. But no question, man, T.C. Taylor knows what he's doing. He's proven it. Was a great coordinator at North Carolina Central, as well as a player. And I mean, man, he gonna be full ready throttle. He's won the. He's done something that nobody's done. Not a lot of people is win a national championship in Atlanta. So he stood on that stage. So, hey, man, look, it's gonna be a great game, and I'm looking forward to that battle.
Yeah, I think this Alcorn game ultimately should be an easy game for Jackson State. I just want Jackson State to come in focused and ready to go. And when they tee it up next on the 6th, I think Jackson State, unlike last year, they'll have a live opponent in the vet. It won't be a pushover in the vet next year. In the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a live opponent that could potentially upset Jackson State, and I'm looking forward to it because, in my opinion, this will be the first WAC championship game that Jackson State goes in with a single digit favorite. Wouldn't you say, Campbell?
Where you see that line at?
What you mean?
What are you talking about, against Alcorn or against Prairie View?
Prairie View.
Oh. Let me see the line. I'm not going to.
You don't think it's going to be a single? You don't think it's going to be a single digit favorite?
No, I don't. I still don't. I don't. It wasn't a single digit against Alabama State.
You talking about Jackson State and Alcorn?
No, Jackson State and Prairie View.
I don't. I will see. I mean, you
double digit winning game.
No, the Jackson State be favored less than 10. That's what Rocky's saying.
Less than 10?
Less than 10.
Yeah. Yo, you think Jackson State gonna beat them by at least 2 scores?
I think I tell you what, it won't be less than 7. So it'll be between 10 and 10 and 8.
Yeah, I'm like you. I think it's gonna be close. It might be a field goal.
Well,
I'm talking just the spread. I'm talking Vegas. I think.
I listen. Here's the thing, and I want to be very clear. I think Coach Jackson has done a tremendous job with this team. I think he did exactly what he said. I'm a big Tremaine. I'm a Prairie View fan for what they did, because what they did what they're supposed to. There's levels to this. Jackson State is a Celebration Bowl level championship team, as constructed right now. Those guys have been together. Those guys know exactly what they're going to do. This is a new team that Prairie View has. They played in a big game. They had Alabama State down there. Andrew Body was out. They couldn't get it done. So now you're talking about in Jackson, with all the marbles on the line, Jacoby Morgan potentially come back, or Lockout has played now 5 games. Man, listen. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Let's just be. I want to out something here. I want to out something here. Just be honest and say it, Campbell. You're not sold that Prairie View is a championship caliber team.
No, not this year. No, not this year. I don't. And that's not disrespectful. And I want to be clear. If somebody says that doesn't mean it's disrespectful, it's where they're at.
No. I didn't say it was disrespectful at all.
No. That's for people that try to clip stuff and to make things. You all right over there?
Yeah.
Like your whole house moved just a second.
Yeah.
So two things can be true. They've had an outstanding season. They beat everybody in the West. But again, when you look at this Jackson State team, how they played against Southern Mississippi, how they played against Alabama State, how they played against all the teams they played against, even other than the team that I said was going to give them problems with Grambling, they have dominated. Prairie View, you got to understand something. And again, you build through the year. So I'm not saying it. They're one pass away from losing to Texas Southern. They're one play away from losing to Alcorn 13-12. Jackson State didn't have any of those type of games. They were dominant from the beginning to the end, other than the Grambling game.
What do you consider the Grambling game and the Alabama State game?
I think. Well, here's the thing. To your point, Alabama State was the second best team in this conference. I think, to your point, I think if Alabama State played with Andrew Bond, they would beat Prairie View. I think they would beat Prairie. I think Alabama State is the second best team in this conference. I think all Alabama State did was replace FAMU when with these two teams and everybody else below them. Because you're not going to tell me that Prairie View is right there with Alabama. So let me ask you a question. Do you think Prairie View is on the same level as Alabama State, Jackson State?
No.
Okay. And we've seen.
But I think with Lockhart, if I got money in this game, I'm taking Prairie View against Lockhart.
Okay.
I don't believe Tremaine Jackson is going to get beat by a true freshman backup quarterback that's proven to be ineffective.
Well, here's the thing. He's not playing. See, the difference with your argument is that's like Andrew. Jackson State is not a one-man team. That's the thing about, and you keep discount. You know who got the second best defense in the SWAC? Jackson State. Number 2 scoring offense, second best scoring defense. So both things travel for them. The running game travels, and they're going to be at home. The defense travels, they're going to be at home. So again, I will say this, and Prairie View people, you know this. If Cam Peters has a game where he outplays Lockhart, then guess what, Rocky? I'll tip your hat and then win. But Cam Peters going to have to outplay Lockhart by a good bit. By a good bit.
Like I say, all these people, I'm not even responding to that. People say I'm a Jackson State hater, but when you talk about what Jacoby and Morgan brought to the team and how the team has dropped off offensively in the passing game in particular, right? And how TC continues to attempt to pass, even though you guys are a dominant running team. You're a dominant running team, but TC continues to tinker with the passing game. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And I think in a game like against Prairie View, you tinker with the passing game against a Prairie View team that's number 1 in the SWAC. It could come back to bite you, and your offense is gonna be effective against Prairie View, but it will not run for 360 yards against Prairie View. It won't run for 360 yards. I believe Tremaine Jackson getting a goal line defense before he lets you run for 360 yards.
Yeah, but I tell you what, you get in that goal line, remember, going to have 3 touchdowns.
You could be right.
So that's the weakness of Prairie View's team, that defensive back. I mean, again,
Rember is
a problem. He's a problem.
Yes.
But like I say, you can get Rembert the ball in the reverse game. You can get Rembert the ball in the screen game. You don't have to do the drop back game with Jackson State. That's my again. I guess y'all don't see the game the way I see it, but I think TC tinkers with the downfield passing game way too much.
But Rocky, you call it tinkering. I call it preparing, because let me give you the verse. And Coach, you tell me this: if he doesn't, to Rocky's point, just hand the ball, don't throw it. Then when it's time to throw, he's never thrown it. So I would rather, if I got house money like that team he's got, and I feel pretty. Let's be clear. TC knows what kind of bomb squad he got. He knows the defense he's got. He's very comfortable with that. You can look at the team. You can look how he moves. So why not get the kid and let him make throws? Let him try to get in the offense, because to your point, playing the Prairie View, he's going to have to make a couple of those throws. But if you don't give him the opportunity, and then now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and he's never thrown a 3rd and 7 or a 3rd and 8, then what he's going to do then, Rocky? Hand the ball off and hope? Because to your point, they're not going to get the 3rd and 8. They might get 5 yards, but they won't get the other 3.
If you don't handle business against a team like Alcorn, you don't get to Prairie View.
They're not going to lose to Alcorn. That's the thing about it. They're not going to lose. They're going to run they can play exactly like they play against Bethune-Cookman. And guess what? They beat them, 28-13? They can play the exact same game. Hell, they can play the exact same game they played against FAMU. Shit, we beat Alcorn, did we not? We beat Alcorn, right? FAMU beat Alcorn. Bad as FAMU is. So, and Jack, they can't put 40 on us. We still getting wing orders from that. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. We have a like opponent. I saw Alcorn up close and personal. They're not going to do nothing with Jack State.
I hear people that are trying to compare Jacoby and Morgan and Lockhart. If y'all think they're the same player, and Jackson State is the same team with both guys at quarterback, you guys are mistaken. You guys are living.
That's true.
They're delusional.
Yeah, that's not even close. Yeah, no, anybody that thinks that does bring them back to a stratosphere. But my thing of it is, even with that's why, to your point, that's why I think he's allowing Lockhart to play through mistakes. Because you got to get him up to speed, because in that game, he's got to make throws.
So, Campbell, in a world where Jacoby and Morgan doesn't come back, what is Jackson State chances of winning it all?
See, this is the thing. And they're deep. I think what Jackson State's not getting enough credit for is their defense. Their defense has made plays all through the year, even with Alabama State. And Alabama State put them yards up on them and put points up on them. But that defense still was able to make plays. And that's the thing that I think separates them against South Carolina State, separates them against Delaware State, separates them against Prairie View. Because they can still score and they can lean on something that is a strength, but then that defense can bail them out if need be. That's my thing.
Do you agree with Emmett Jones's comment?
But no, I don't think he's a drag.
Okay.
I don't. I think, again, I think what TC has done, listen, man, it was 3-3 at one point, and I think Lockhart was showing, and everybody was down there. It was looking like, oh, wait a minute, he might have a freshman moment. He wasn't playing well. He fumbled the ball, he got his head knocked. Hey, that guy, it was rocking down there for that first quarter and a half. And then guess what? TC was like, okay, game over. He made one play, and now that running attack, and then Remember went crazy. That's not hard for them to do. That's not hard for them to do. And that's my point right there. So Lockhart does not have to be a 250-yard passer. Well, I tell you what, and coach knows this, and this is the thing, Lockhart can't turn the ball. And I tell you what, if you tell me Lockhart's stat line is 2 interceptions in that championship game, then I say, wait a minute, there's a problem. Because those are things that lose you ball games, the turnovers in that type of game with that type of quarterback.
Let me ask you this, and then we'll get out of here, Coach, because I know Coach has to get out of here.
Let's forget this. I want to talk about Marshall Faulk. Forget this. Coach, word on the street. Because if you got to get out, this is very important. You know about Southern. Word on the street that Marshall Faulk is the next coach at Southern. What is your thoughts about that?
He's up at Colorado right now, right?
Yes. Running backs coach.
They about to open up the pocketbook because I'm pretty sure he's probably making about 400-some thousand up there or more. Marshall Faulk to me was a cerebral football player. What that means, he was very integral part of the offense when he played. How I feel about celebrity coaches, man. I mean, besides that he's a celebrity coach, I don't like it, but I think it might be good for Southern. He's a Louisiana native. How much he do or how much he don't know, he can get people around him. I think the Manning boys is from Louisiana too, right?
Yeah.
And he played with them, and I think, he's smart enough to be able to surround some people around him, because that at the end of the day, that's what it's about, putting people around him. He was a hell of a football player. I mean, tailback, wide receiver, he could do it, man. I mean, they built the offense around him. So you could expect them to have a good offense. But, it's one of them things that we'll see, when it happens.
I like the story. I just don't like the hire. I like the story of an NFL player getting an opportunity to coach in Division I football in his home state. I love the story, but I just think Southern needs a professional head coach. That's how I think. I think they need a professional head coach.
So I saw this, and I saw Scotty's show and things like that. But then I see Quinn Gray come on here, and I listened to him. And then, like I laid out, the coaches that are successful all have a certain path. There are coaches like Quinn that have that pedigree that Trey Oliver has, that Ches Berry has, that T.C. Taylor has, that Tremaine Jackson. And I think while Marshall Faulk, it looks good, and coach, and I'll agree with you, Marshall Faulk is one of the best analysts on the NFL Network, 100%. Very smart player, totally understand that.
Didn't I say that?
Huh?
I said he was just very cerebral.
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 100% agreeing with you. But I just think that, again, when you got guys at that D2 level that are building programs, listen to what Coach Quinn said. The right things that a Southern probably needs, that type of mentality and understanding. That's the thing that I'm going to be very curious about, because, of course, it's all going to come about who's the staff. But I just think that for Southern, I don't think they should get the Pete Richardson reject or retread or anything like that. But I think those young guys that are sitting up there, I think they will come with a lot of energy and they would get Southern. But we'll see. Like I say, Marshall Faulk, I think is a great person. I know people that know him personally. I think he's going to, respect what something he's going to do is research and probably bring a lot of people in. I'm sure Dion is going to help him with all of that. But with that being said, I don't know. I'm not excited about it. I'm not.
Well, I'm not either.
Well, like I said, I'm excited about the story. I'm looking forward to the press conference. I'm looking forward to seeing who he hires on his staff. I'm looking forward to the energy that it may bring the program, for sure. He doesn't have the personality of a Deion Sanders, but if he's able to build a staff and do anything near what Deshaun Jackson has done in his first year at Southern, I think it'll be epic.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, Coach, it's time to get us out of here, baby.
Man, Coach, it's been a great one, man. It's been a great starting off a good week. I forgot to wish my mom. I shouldn't say I forgot her birthday because I wished it, but I wanted all you guys to know that my mom turned 92 years old. 92 years old, still walking, still talking, still going to church, still wearing her baby son out, which is me, out of 9. And again, I want to wish you to my show. Happy birthday, Mom. 92 years old. Man, you show putting the pressure on all of us. But the good thing about it is I got a long more time to live. Guys, man, I want to take a prayer tonight for all the victims, the Epstein victims, the young ladies that were mistreated. We ought to give a shout out and also a prayer. Whatever the outcome of and whatever's in those things about them, hey, it is what it is. But anybody to get mistreated, you got to send a shout out to them and send up a prayer. Again, thank you guys for being on the show, man. I know things are still hard. They're talking about affordability. You always know, man, at the end of the road, tie a knot, hold on tight, because ain't nobody.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.